Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Hey, welcome back to the program, everybody. On this Thursday morning, episode number 101. I think we've ignited a bit of a discussion here. JR in Cranbrook writes in and he says, NHL in Saskatoon is a reality. Great fans, and that is the first thing you need. Yeah, I think we could go a ways on that discussion. NHL in Saskatchewan. By the way, Philsy, Carlo Koliakovo coming up.
Former Leaf.
Yeah, do you have some questions
Toronto
for him?
native.
Yeah, TSN 1050 Radio Toronto will be with us. And speaking of, just to look at the morning sports update for Ballers Rec Room, the Edmonton Oilers look to overcome a sudden offensive drought when they take on the visiting Washington Capitals in NHL play tonight. The Oilers have just 2 goals in their last 3 games and are coming off back-to-back shutout losses. Also tonight, Montreal hosts San Jose. Calgary entertains Florida. Then the Flames coming here for Saturday's NHL Heritage Classic. Newly acquired quarterback Zach Caleros will start for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in Friday's key CFL game against the Stampeders. Caleros will step in for Chris Streveler, who appeared to injure an ankle last week in a loss at Calgary. Golden State Warriors kick off their NBA season tonight with a game against the Clippers. It's the Warriors' first competitive game since losing to Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors in last season's NBA Final. Thought that would bring a smile to your face, Jackie. There it is.
There it is.
The Raptors fan that she is. And it's moving day in the World Series. The Washington Nationals have a 2-0 lead over the Houston Astros in the Fall Classic, and Game 3 goes in Washington on Friday night. That is your morning sports update for Ballers Rec Room, Regina's newest entertainment destination. A lot of people coming in on opinions on the NHL in Saskatchewan. Chad Isaac says, we complain about ticket prices now for the Riders. Just imagine the prices for hockey. Don't think it would work here financially for fans. Comment of the day right there. Right?
You're going to pay the exact same
thing
every game, probably.
Right. They're bitching about they can't afford to go to one game, the Heritage Classic, and every game will be like that in the regular season. Terry Mullock says it wouldn't be a lack of fan support. It could be a lack of player interest. If players don't want to go to Edmonton or Winnipeg, might be a tougher draw for Regina. Go Pats. I don't know, and I almost think it's not a worthwhile discussion because I just don't think it's ever going to happen. It's like, why are we talking about this? Do you think it would ever happen? Both of you?
Not now. I mean, maybe, you never know what can happen in terms of this market growing and that type of thing, but I don't foresee it happening in the next 10 years. I don't think there's any way. I mean, the NHL looking at expansion, I mean, the other markets, I mean, they're going into Seattle, next year? Mm-hmm. Quebec's going to get a team, and then, we're already, then what are you sitting at, 34, 35 franchises in the NHL? Unless you're taking a Florida out of there, but I doubt that's going to happen. It's going to have to be a relocation if you're going to get one. I just don't see it happening. It's a long ways off.
Well, Jackie, you're very positive.
I was trying to be positive, but you're all bringing up valid points. But again, I very much the fan support is going to be there. But you just reminded me now with the Heritage Classic and the pricing and people's reactions. That makes me a little sad. But I'm still going to be positive about this. I think it can happen. Again, maybe not in the next 10 years, like Phil mentioned, but who knows? It would be nice to see.
Well, Phil's from Saskatoon, and we've got a lot of Saskatoon viewers, obviously, and a lot of Saskatoon sponsors. Great Western's anchored out of there, by the way. And everybody up there says, you got to get on board with this new arena in Saskatoon thing. And historically, I haven't been because I'm like, I love Sask Place. SaskTel Center. I love it. I love going there, but I do also understand that it's out of date, and they would like an arena downtown. I mean, they don't have enough washrooms built for 15,000. They have enough washrooms for 7,000. Things like that. That's a realistic thing when you're trying to operate a pro sports franchise.
It's a 30-year-old building. So.
That's a 30-year-old building, right? So, I mean, and the other thing is, I say let's put an AHL team in there and see how it goes. And Saskatoon, live there. You're from there. You basically live there. We don't want it. It's NHL or nothing, which is fine. That's how they feel.
Yeah, it's totally fine, and I get it. I mean, you want the National Hockey League, you want the best league in the world to be in your city, and I'm with you on supporting a new rink in Saskatoon because, I mean, I think the Rush have had a lot of success there with how big that building is, but for the Saskatoon Blades, I mean, we were there in the Memorial Cup in 2013, and the most they had was, just over 11,000 for their game against London, and that's the pinnacle of junior hockey, right? And so, even if they're a winner and a contender, it's just too big a building for the Blades to play in. So if they could get a rink that is in that downtown area or somewhere that's a little more accessible, that sits around that 6,000-7,000, and create an atmosphere there for the Blades to play in, I think that would be huge for their franchise, because right now it's a graveyard. Even if you get 3,000-4,000 in there, it's a terrible place to watch a hockey game. It is.
Right. Yeah. However, look at the bunny hug that I'm wearing.
Well, that's
today.
what I said. The Rush
the Saskatchewan Rush would never buy that.
No, they would.
They're
have to
playing
stay
to
out there.
NHL caliber capacity crowds.
Yeah.
Right. So that if there's a new arena going in Saskatoon, it's 15,000 or more. Bottom line. And
Where would it go?
Downtown. Just
Where?
How well do you know Saskatoon?
Pretty well, but
just
where?
north of the town. Right, Philzy? When you go over. Listen to all us Saskies talking here. If you're going up Idlewild, just past the train tracks, just to the east of Idlewild, just north of downtown, south of Outlaws.
Yeah. Is it Toys R Us? Yeah.
No, north of Toys R Us.
Further north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I've heard, unless you've heard anything else.
Well, I also heard that Toys R Us parking lot right across from the Midtown Mall in that area too, but I think that there's a couple of options there for sure.
Well, I do feel that Ty writing in, our social media advisor, says smaller rinks are the way of the future for junior hockey.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's not going to be junior hockey. They're thinking bigger than junior hockey.
Sure. But if I'm the Saskatoon Blades and I'm in on getting a new rink, it's cut in half from 15,000. Like that. That from their standpoint, Regina, the Pat's rink is perfect.
It
64,
is.
84.
I agree.
In terms of capacity, because even on your down years when you're averaging 5,000 people, there's still an atmosphere in there, right? And then you sell it out, and there's demand for tickets, like we saw in the 2017 and 2018 seasons for the Pats. So for junior hockey, 15 is too much.
Jordan Ewart writes in Facebook, says the NHL will never come to Saskatchewan, unfortunately. There are better markets in the States, and I would argue that Quebec City, Hamilton, or even Halifax should have a team before us here. Any thoughts on that? I mean, we're going down a road here that I did not expect to go down today, so we're kind of tap dancing on the air. I don't.
I think Quebec.
Again, I'm the one that said it's not happening, so why are we talking about it?
I think that if a Canadian market's going to get it in the near future, it's Quebec, and that is number one.
And they have the arena sitting there right now.
Exactly. Yep.
Which reminds me, Matthew Barnaby, when we were doing the dinner in Arcola the other night and driving back and forth 4 hours return, do you know that the Quebec Ramparts play in that rink that you're talking about in Quebec City, and they draw 14,000 to 15,000 fans a game?
It's incredible.
For Major Junior. Part of the reason is Patrick was the head coach and general manager there. Plus, they win.
They're the only ticket in town in terms of hockey.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So it's not to say. Yeah. So, hey, by the way, checking the poll question. What's happening with Carlo Koliakovo, by the way? Oh, Clark says he's just settling in. I just want to check the poll results here for a second. When do you got to go, Phil?
I don't know. I think I'm on here till 12.
Okay, good. Jackie, you? How are you?
Yeah, I was told to be here till 12.
Okay, good.
So we're
You're good with that?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, perfect. I just don't want to keep you too long, that's all. From the daily poll for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center, checking the poll results. Which is the game of the week for Week 20 in the CFL? It really hasn't changed. The Facebookers saying it is Calgary at Winnipeg with 68.3% of the vote. On Twitter, it's 56%. They're the leader, Calgary at Winnipeg on Friday Night Football, followed by Saskatchewan at Edmonton, 25.7%. Hamilton at Montreal with 5.9%, and nobody has voted for Ottawa at Toronto.
What's the percentage of that Toronto game?
0.
Can't see from here.
Not even your friends are going to that game.
Sadly, no.
A 7,000 seat stadium.
I mean,
They're playing it at Ricoh Coliseum.
No, but I mean, when you were talking about filling the stadium or it being so cavernous, at Sask telling me, like, that's the dome. And then you go to BMO and, we still have the same problem. So will that fix the problem of filling those seats in?
Hard to say.
Yeah.
I know.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.